Hi folks, it's Yvonne with Grandma Means Business. How are you this evening? I have got something really fun to share with you tonight. And some of you are going to pick this up and run with it like I am going to. And some of you are going to tell me that you have gone off the deep end and are just going to ignore the stuff that I'm going to tell you about. But don't do that. Join me. I encourage you, come along on the road. Okay, so I'm still talking about The Secret, and I am in chapter 7 tonight, The Secret to Health. Okay, so first of all, let me tell you that I googled the cells of our body and how often they recreate and regenerate, and the article that I found said that every cell in our body is remade, is recreated. One dies and a new one is created every 7 to 10 years. So every 7 to 10 years, you have an entirely new set of cells in your body. Is that cool or what? There is not, now I just celebrated my 60th birthday. It's not possible that even one cell in this entire body is 60 years old. It hasn't been here 60 years. This body is no more than 7 to 10 years old. Is that cool or what? I'm thrilled, can you tell? All right, Bob Proctor says, your body is casting off millions of cells every second, and it is also creating millions of new cells all at the same time. Dr. John Hagelin says, in fact, parts of our bodies are literally replaced every day. Other parts take a few months, other parts a couple of years, but within a few years, we all have a brand new physical body, top to bottom. No more than 7 to 10 years, every single cell changed. Is that exciting? So the question is, how can it be that degeneration and illness remains in our bodies for years? How is that possible? If every cell is remade, you know, some cells get damaged for certain reasons. Some we know, some we don't know. But how is it possible that those diseases can stay in our body for for years, when every cell is replaced every 7 to 10 years? I know some of the arguments you're thinking about, but just listen to this for a few minutes. So, this is what Rhonda Byrne has to say. It can only be held there, disease and degeneration can only be held in our bodies by thought, by observation of the illness, by noticing it, paying attention to it, looking at it, going to the doctor for it all the time, just focusing on it. She's not saying don't go to the doctor. Let me talk about that in a minute. But it can only be held there by thought, by observation of the illness, and by the attention given to the illness. I just had a really heated conversation with my husband about this very thing. He was freaking out at me because he's saying that's just nonsense, because he, of course, has had, a pretty significant cardiac issue for about 25 years now. So, and he's been on some strong medications, and they seem to be adding to the list. And so he said that's ridiculous, because if every cell was changed and it was able to rejuvenate itself every 7 to 10 years, this would be gone. Yes, that's what they're saying. But he tells me I'm nonsense, so I'm not going to discuss it with him anymore. I'm just going to go on, and I'm going to pay attention to this. So she says to go ahead and think perfect thoughts. Do not think about illness or disease. Do not think about those things that are not right with your body. And we all, no, I'm not saying we have them. Think perfect thoughts. I see only perfection. I am perfection. I banish every bit of stiffness and lack of agility out of my body. I'm not even going to say those words, though, because she has already told us to be clear that we don't say, I'm banishing thoughts of stiffness, I'm banishing thoughts of lack of agility, because if you focus on stiffness and lack of agility, that's what you're going to get, and that's what you're going to draw to yourself. So instead, say, I focus on seeing my body as flexible and as perfect as when I was a child. For me, I'm going to go to the day before March 2nd, 1976, because that's the day that I had the trampoline accident and things went bad for a while there. So I am seeing myself as flexible and as perfect as on March 1st, 1976, because things were really good then. Your body is only months old, no matter how many birthdays you have chalked up in your mind. So if you have 60 birthdays in your mind, you've been here 60 birthdays, and you've been around that long, and your mind is 60 years old. Your spirit is 60 years old. Well, that's older. That's probably older than that. But your body isn't. It's not possible for it to be that old. She says to do yourself a favor on your next birthday and celebrate it as your very first birthday. Don't cover your cake with 60 candles unless you want to summon aging to you. Unfortunately, Western society, she says, has become fixated on age, and in reality, there is no such thing. This is just fun for me. I'm just having a ball with this, in case you cannot tell. Now, just let me back up and talk about the doctor's things. Now, she's not saying don't go to the doctor. None of these people inside of this, in this book, are saying don't go to the doctor, don't deal with issues, because they are saying that medicine has definitely got a place in everything, in our lives, of course, especially when it's trauma or something acute that you need to deal with. Go to the doctor. Let the doctors deal with the problems that your body might be having, but don't you focus on it. You focus on perfection. Okay? So she's not saying don't go to the doctor. Just make sure you understand that. But see yourself, she said. You can think your way, she says, to a perfect state of health, the perfect body, the perfect weight, and eternal youth. Do you love that? I absolutely love that. Of course, now that there are 60 candles on my cake, of course, I'm going to love that more than I used to. See yourself living in a perfectly healthy body. And that is what I choose to do right now. I choose to see myself living in a perfectly healthy body. And I would love it if you would join me on that journey and see yourself living in a perfectly healthy body. And if you would like to keep up with me and my list of affirmations that she is encouraging us to add to our list, and the list is becoming a little long, a little lengthy. As a matter of fact, I've got to compile it all into one list. If you would like to keep up on that, let me know, and I will share my list of ongoing affirmations with you. All right, guys, that's it for tonight's live. I will see you next time. Have a great evening.